Hello viewers, welcome to Newsem TV. You are watching The Focus where we discuss about youth affairs. And today we are going to be discussing youth and agriculture. And today with me in the studio I have John Mochenje, the chairperson for Apex for Youth and Agriculture. Apex Council for Youth in Agriculture. So today we are going to be discussing farming, talking about farming, Kurima. We all know that farming is the backbone of our country. And this gentleman I am with today, he won the Young Farmers Award recently. John, congratulations for the award.
Thank you very much. You're most welcome.
Yeah, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So tell us, how has been the experience?
Yeah, the experience, I can say it's a journey. You know, for you to perfect something, obviously you start as a learning curve, as you learn, but with the time you perfect and then you gain more experience. So what I can tell other guys or other young farmers is that farming is a business, very serious business that needs hands-on, and it needs your time to be there, because it's a business that you need to generate profit from. So you need to be there 100% and make sure that everything that is happening on your farm, you are there and you are aware of everything that is happening, rather than relying on a cell phone or trying to put someone ahead of you. You need to be there and know that whenever you are doing any activity, like for example putting fertilizers, putting chemicals, or planting, you need to be there and make sure that the correct measurement of fertilizers, of chemicals have been put on your crops.
Okay. So people out there want to know who is John. What motivated you to join farming? What pushed you to get into farming?
Okay. Like you said, my name is John Mchenje from Midlands Province, Chirumanzo. I'm doing my farming in Mvuma, under Chirumanzo district. What motivated me to do farming is when I was young, I used to do farming with my parents at a subsistence level. But as I grow, I can just put in particular in 2016 when I visited the former vice president, who's now the president, President Mnangagwa's farm in Sherwood. When we were doing his field visit, he challenged me to venture into full-time farming, because by that time I was doing it at a low scale. But when I was looking at the massive production which was at his farm, doing maize and soya beans and wheat, it pushed me that if a vice president, a person of his caliber, is producing thousands of tons to feed the nation, what about us, just poor youth? I just simply said, I was motivated and challenged and got interested in massive and commercial farming. Right now, last year I was having 20 hectares of maize, 10 hectares of tobacco, 10 hectares of sugar beans, and also 10 hectares of cabbages. So this pushed me to venture into commercial agriculture.
So tell us, there is this belief that farming and land ownership is associated with ZANU-PF, and yeah, is it the case? What is it about? Can you please tell us?
That's not correct. You know, the land is under the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Water, Climate and Rural Settlement, not ZANU-PF. So land is being applied at district offices, not at ZANU-PF district offices. So it's just people there for that wrong perception and mentalities. But this land is for all Zimbabweans. Recently, the president has actually put a resolution that the land now belongs to the state. Any farming land now belongs to the state, not to individuals. So if you're not producing or using the land effectively, the government has the right at any given time to withdraw the land from you, which means the government of Zimbabwe, not the ZANU-PF, but it's the government. So the land is open to everyone. Anyone who's a Zimbabwean, you are free to get land, regardless of your political affiliation.
Okay, John, we understand that you are the leader for the Apex Youth in Agriculture. So can you say in your association you have members of the ruling party and members of opposition parties?
What we do when we are approaching Apex, Apex is an umbrella body of different associations. So we've got the Farmers Trust, we've got ZFU, we've got CFU, there are women in agriculture, there are plenty which are there. So what we do, I can also give an example. In August, we had the annual inaugural conference for youth in agriculture. A lot of different political parties were represented. We had a meeting with the youth from ZANU-PF, youth from MDC, led by Dr. Tozani Kupe, youth from NCA, led by Amaduku, youth from POVO. There are a lot of youth. What we are looking for youth with progressive minds. Those people that are eager to take Zimbabwe further and to make sure that they develop our economy through agriculture. So we don't select anyone from any party. What we're only looking for people with the same mindset to push the nation further.
Okay, John Muchenye is saying, regardless of your political affiliations, you can be a farmer as long as you are in the youth. You are most welcome. So John, tell us about this gender-based thing around the country. So Imimi, I want to ask you, Kuti, Imimi, in your association, do you also consider women, or it's about me and men being the leaders, men being the farmers? Do you consider women? Yes, we consider. Within the Apex Council, there's also an organization called Women in Agriculture. Young Women in Agriculture is a member and affiliate of Apex Council. And also the vice chair who deputized me, she's also a woman. Memory Nyakuta Kamoto, she's a farmer in Mashist. She's also a woman. So you can actually say that we are very gender sensitive. We know that women, there are a lot of women that are participating in agriculture. I think yesterday there were some awards that were being awarded to women of excellence that are excelling in agriculture. And I've seen that the award was won by a lady from Mangura. She's doing a massive farming, massive production, more than what we are doing as men. Massive. So they're very massive. Okay. So we can just go through and see maybe their website, Women in Agriculture. You can actually see the number of women who are doing great things. So we understand that there are a lot of women that are there, and they are there also in the position of influence within the Apex Council. Okay, thank you. So this is John Muchenye. He leads the Apex Council for Youth in Agriculture, and he is saying that even women are considered as farmers. So John, what is it that you produce? How is the market? Do you think the Zimbabwean market is essential for your product? In respect to myself, I do maize. So obviously the GMB is there waiting for the maize. I think last time I heard that we imported maize from Tanzania and other countries, which means we don't have enough maize in the country. And then also into tobacco. The tobacco auction floors, they are there waiting to buy our tobacco. But what I encourage farmers to make sure that they produce the right quality of tobacco. But a lot of farmers, they cry foul about the price, but I've seen that it's about the curing or the quality of your tobacco. If your quality of tobacco is good, then the market is there for you at the tobacco floors. Then sugar beans. There's great market for sugar beans in Zimbabwe. And the good part is that the market is free. You can actually determine your price. There's no one who's controlling the market for sugar beans. And also, I'm also into cabbages. I had about 30,000 heads of cabbage that are there in my farm. And I'm receiving calls every day. What I can actually tell the farmers is make sure that you've produced a quality product. Because usually a product sells itself. So the moment if you produce a fresh and healthy cabbages without any fungal diseases, you automatically get a market. I'm also exploring outside market to export my cabbages to Zambia and Mozambique. So which means the market is there. I've sent them some samples and they're interested in buying cabbages locally. So what I'm trying to do is organize other youth in Zimbabwe that we export outside the country. And we're also engaging other developing countries and other countries, like for example Netherlands, that we produce our produce and export them, Netherlands and Germany. So the market for every product is there. But what you need to do is make sure that you've produced a quality project that can sell itself. Okay. I understand that for one to produce quality things, you have to invest much in it. But like now as we're speaking, pakurima, there are a lot of inputs that are being put forward to have a quality produce, because you can't rely on the rains. What if it doesn't rain? At the end of the day, you have to deliver. So Imeme, what can you say to what can you do to those who want to join agriculture but they don't have the resources?
Okay.
Yes.
Like you said, when talking of resources, land is also a resource. Let's say, for example, somebody has got land, but in terms of the irrigation infrastructure or setup, recently the government has launched the small grains programs, where for those people in the drought-prone areas, the government is encouraging farmers to grow drought-resistant crops for those without irrigation. But for those with irrigation, the ball is in your court. You can actually irrigate. Like, for example, I have got a center pivot and 5 bowls that I'm using to irrigate, which means I can grow any type of crop for my choice. But in terms of the inputs, the government has unveiled Command Agriculture, which is at the disposal of farmers. But they're only sticking that for those farmers that have taken command before, make sure that they are paid up, and then you can actually get the inputs. And then we have the presidential input scheme. The scheme is targeting small-scale farmers in the communal areas, where farmers are receiving 10 kgs of seed, basal fertilizer and top fertilizer. So the government is also assisting farmers in one way or the other. But for those without irrigation, I encourage them to do small grain production, which is drought resistant.
Okay, how about those without land?
Those without land, like I said before, that the president has taken a stance on the multiple farm owners and underutilized farms and oversized farms. The law is clear in terms of land. It's saying 1 man, 1 farm, maximum 400 hectares. So for all those people with a vast tract of lands, the government is coming also over to downsize your farm to maximum 400 hectares, so that we share with others that doesn't have land. So the government is clear policy on youth. The president is committed to make sure that we as youth, we benefit after the land audit. So the land is going to be availed to the youth, but obviously not firstly on partisan ground or in any disorganized manner. We as youth, we should get organized in small groups. For those who want to do horticulture, you don't need 20 hectares to do horticulture. You just need a hectare or so. Yes. So for those who want horticulture, we can then put ourselves in clusters, and then we benefit land as a group, not as individuals. Because you don't want youth to agree, because the land is a scarce resource. But let's try to get in groups and get land.
Okay, but we know and we understand that kuni madara edu anasakuru edu, those who fought my war veterans, most of them are land yakakurisa. Do you really think that those people land yavo can be taken away from them and be given to this youth, the young generation, of which even my war veterans are actually can work out so when we fought for this land? Yeah. Do you think it's possible?
You know, the new dispensation is very clear about economic development. It's not about self-interest or a particular group. I'm also a child of a war veteran. When our parents went to war, they were fighting for the freedom of Zimbabwe, independence and economic freedom. So, and it's for Zimbabweans, it was not for a particular person. So when the law is put, it's not selective. The president said clearly that the law is not selective. 1 man, 1 farm, maximum 400 hectares. And I think most of other people that have vast tract of land, they are starting surrendering their farms. Some of them, they have 16 farms, and then we give an opportunity to surrender some and remain in some that you are using. So it's someone's choice. That the law, if you given time, kindly surrender the farms that you are not utilizing, or kindly avail space that you know that I can't clear this, let me give to the youth that has to have the power and the vigor to produce.
So Mdaraga surrender.
Eh?
Mdaraga surrender. When you
no, I'm now at the farm, so I'm doing the farming. Okay. And the farm is about 170 hectares, okay, which is within the means, within the range of 400 hectares. Okay. And there's 1 man, 1 farm. If only 1 farm, we don't have several.
we were once the breadbasket for Africa, and it's changed. So Imimi, as the young generation in farming, what are you doing for us to get that tag again? What are you doing?
Okay. Our main focus, like you said before, that is to take back Zimbabwe as a breadbasket of Southern Africa. But how are we going to do that as youth? Currently we don't have a youth strategy in agriculture. We need to have a strategy on how we are going to end hunger in the country, and also this importation of maize and wheat. Currently we are importing maize, importing wheat, but Zimbabwe has got firstly, we've got vast tract of land being underutilized. We have got a favorable climate, and then we have got a supportive government towards agriculture, and we have got a listening president. When it comes to things to do with agriculture, he's also a farmer, so he understands farming. But what we lack is a strategy on how to end hunger and eradicate poverty through agriculture in the country. So what we are doing as young farmers, I think on the 20th of December, we are going to have an annual meeting where we are going to develop our own strategy that we are going to use, and that is going to guide us as young farmers to eradicate hunger. Obviously, the land issue is going to be a topical issue, but I'm happy that the Office of the President is on the issue to make sure that those with the underutilized and oversized farms are downsized, and no one becomes a multiple farm owner, one man, one farm, that we open resources for others. So what is needed is equitable and equal share of resources, especially on the issue of land. That's where it starts. For you to be called a farmer, you need to have land. You can have resources, you can have money, but land is key. And also the government is worked on the mechanizing equipment. For example, President was in Belarus, was in China, was in Russia, looking for equipment. The tractors are coming in as a way to support farmers, which is very most welcome. And also irrigation facilities are being resuscitated to make sure that we increased the hectarage which is under irrigation. Like you said before, that you can have a vast tract of lands, but if you don't have irrigation, it's a risk to end farming because you'll be relying on the natural rains. But as a farmer, you need to have a backup plan where you say, if the land there's no rain for next 2 weeks, I can just switch on my pivot and do irrigation.
Okay, so as we round up, just tell us the challenges you've been facing in agriculture. Okay,
the first challenge as young people is around issue of land. This is a very typical issue. Most of young farmers, they don't own land. The land belongs to our parents, or some of young farmers are leasing land. So that's the main challenge. So we are negotiating, advocating the government to avail more land to young farmers. The second one is about implements. To buy a tractor, it costs about 30, 40, 50,000. So as a poor young someone, you don't have the capital there and there. Some of young people, they don't have collateral security like houses to get loans is back up from the banks. So the main challenge is also around issue of land, issue of implements, and also issue of funds to purchase my inputs. Yes, the government is actually started with command agriculture, but the main challenge that we are facing as young people is use of land and then implements, and also irrigation facilities. The market is there. We try to also to explore as young people.
Okay, thank you so much. So thank you guys for watching. This is John Muchenje. Thank you. Next time.